In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up and use the Vocodex in FL Studio to create some robotic vocals. Okay, so using robotic vocals, I love using that. I think that like music with these vocals in them just sound amazing, like Daft Punk. Zed uses it pretty well, but I'm going to show you how you can use it like in a really simple way and how I used it in my track Respect. So if I just quickly play the vocals that are in my track Respect, you can sort of hear what I'm going to try and teach you in this video. So let me just play that for you. Okay, so that's it, and now we're going to go into a fresh new project. I'm going to use the original vocal and I'm going to show you how I routed it and also how you can modify it to create some different sort of sounds and tones and use different kind of waveforms to create different sounds as well. Okay, so before we start, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more videos. I love making these videos and showing you what I do in my tracks and giving other people other ideas. So hit that like button. Here's the original vocal. So if I just play that, I've got it on loop because it's just easier for me to just keep hearing it over and over again. So here is the original vocal.
Respect to the crew. Respect to the crew.
Okay, so it sounds, obviously, it's a human voice and it's quite high pitch. So bring up your mixer, get your vocal, and I'm going to put it to track 1 and then just rename that one vocal. Now, what else? The other thing that you need is the carrier synth. So obviously you're going to be playing a synth underneath it, and that is what's going to give you your robotic sound to the vocal. So what you want to do now, what I like to use is the 3X oscillator because it's just a really simple plugin and the saws sound quite nice on it. Let's open up the 3X oscillator. I've just thrown in a couple of MIDI notes in there. I think these were the original notes that I used in the track that I showed earlier. So it is just literally F sharp G, and then I've pitched it down. So this is how you're going to get that robotic sound. So I've pitched it down. So what we do with this 3X oscillator now is we put it into track 2 and then rename that. We'll call this one the synth. And then in your insert 3, so the next mixer channel, this is where you want to open up your Vocodex. So Vocodex is found in the miscellaneous tab, and this is it here. So what we want to do now is we want to route both of these into the Vocodex. So up here you'll see these 2 zeros, and what we want to do, this is where we're going to be routing them into the vocal and then the synth. So if you pull up your mixer, what you want to do now is get the vocal, and then actually let's rename this Vocodex, and then get the vocal, sidechain to this track, and then I like to just check this off. You can either just turn it down or you can just get rid of it completely. I get rid of it completely, it just looks better. And then you want to go over to the synth, same again, right click, sidechain to this track, and then click on this little arrow at the top to get rid of that one. So now when you go into your Vocodex, on this top part up here, you're going to see the 1, and then change that one to 2. So now they're both going into the Vocodex. So let's take a listen to what that sounds like now. Let me just put that back up to where it would normally be. So this is what you would hear when you first fire this up. Let's take a listen.
Respect to the crew.
And like I said, this is where you can start doing your modifications to how you want it to sound. So to get that robotic sound, what I did is I took the MIDI notes that I just threw in there. These were just random, and then I went down an octave. So let's take a listen to that.
Respect to the crew. Respect to the crew.
Alright, let's go even further down. Okay, so I've just changed a couple of the settings on here, and I changed this one here, which is the bandwidth. So this is going to increase or decrease the amount of voices that are going into the Vocodex. And you can do the pitch shifter as well, which I like to use, and I like to dial that to the left. So this is the sound that I come up with. Now, what you want to do now is go back into the 3x oscillator and start adding some more saws. So let's take a listen. Okay, so this is where we're at now. So at the minute, we're on the original saw that's already on there. So now what I did on the vocal that I used, I changed it to this saw. And now listen to what come out with this one. Now you can get like real funky with this and start playing around with like other shapes just to get different sounds. So let's add another saw. Let's add a little bit of detune to that, and let's bring that in. Let's go back to 12 and let's take a listen to that. So now it's like obviously increasing in volume, but now you're getting that robotic sound. To go further on the Vocodex, stick a reverb on it. This will make it sound really cool. And what you want to do here is just turn that decay down, turn the wet all the way down, turn the low cut up, and then just start bringing in that wet. And let's take a listen to the vocal now. Super cool. And obviously you can just play around with different notes on the piano roll. Really cool sounds. Okay, so that's the end of the video, and I hope this is giving you some inspiration to create some really cool robotic sounds. And it's not just vocals you can throw in there. Maybe try adding percussion or a drum loop or something like that. You can get some really cool sounds doing it that way as well. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.